Okay, please go. Well, hello, friends and family and wonderful people who are joining the Blessed Family Recovery Summit, which kicks off in 2 days. We're doing a fun kickoff call tomorrow with a lot of giveaways. I have a speaker reveal today. We've been doing those all along. This is Anna McLaughlin. She Considers a Field is her Facebook group. Proverbs 31 is her home base. And next year, we're even going to see a podcast. So,
Right.
Anna, welcome. Tell us a little bit about what you're speaking about in the Blessed Family Recovery Summit.
I'm so glad to be here. It's always so much fun to talk to you. So I'm talking about going from overwhelmed to being an overcomer. And so basically, we're just going to be diving into how to lay down that feeling of overwhelm, even when our circumstances haven't actually changed yet.
So I can be overwhelmed and still feel okay, feel loved, cherished, taken care of. In fact, I could probably have joy and still be overwhelmed.
Probably have some joy. Yeah. So even when that to-do list has not moved an inch, there's still a way to feel at rest and feel at peace, because what's actually happening when we're overwhelmed is we're telling ourselves a story. Like, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough margin. I'll never get it all done. And it's actually the story that we're telling ourselves that's creating that experience of overwhelm, not our circumstances itself. And so the work that I invite you into in this conversation that we're having on Friday, I think is our day, is really how to lay down the overwhelm even while our circumstances are still with whatever they are.
And you're not a woman who has just all kinds of open time.
Yeah. I don't know what you mean, Tanya. You mean
I don't think you have any open time, if you want to know the truth. Tell us all that you encompass.
Yes.
Everything that you have going on in your life right now.
Yes. So we have 4 children, ages 5 to 11. We homeschool. My husband has 2 businesses that he runs, and then I have a business that has multiple parts to it. I believe it's important to be invested in family and deep relationships with friends, and so we keep things happen over here for sure.
Absolutely. So Anna is one of the 29 speakers, and each speaker I've asked to leave with practical tips. So talk to us first about what is the state of overwhelm. You have 4 kids, 3 businesses, family life is important, and you're a homeschool mom. So when you get into the mechanics of things, how are you managing your day?
Yeah. So I do my best to recognize that many things are optional and negotiable, that we can really move the needle in a lot of different ways. And so I like to say to my kids, it's all a choice. Like, we have many choices. Many things are possible. Not all things are possible, but many things are possible. And so we do our best, first of all, to try to take a look ahead and go, okay, well, and this is after years of practicing just this desire to create a little bit of space, a little bit of margin in our life. So, for example, we are coming up on 4 birthdays in the 6 weeks after Christmas. And so my husband and I actually went out on a date this afternoon. Maybe he'd call it a date in quotes, because maybe it wasn't the most romantic, but we sat down with the calendar and went, okay, here's this kid's birthday. What are we going to do for it? When's it going to be? Here's this kid's birthday. And so we try at the beginning of December to look all the way to the middle of February, just as a way to create some room. The other thing that we try to do, so the more of a like recognizing that an intense season is coming, we try to kind of do what we can to, I call it setting the table. We try to set the table well in advance. That being said, that's not my natural bent. I kind of tend to fly by the seat of my pants a little bit. And so when I start to see when there's anybody in the family that starts to be exhibiting signs that the wheels are coming off a little bit, then I take something off the calendar and I just say, I'm sorry to whoever might be affected by it. I really apologize. I overdid it. I overbooked. And I think sometimes, especially when we are very intentional people, relationally driven, we try to, I'm sure nobody in your community could relate to this. We're trying to tend to other people's feelings, maybe just a little bit, right? Maybe I know of what I speak. We sometimes don't give ourselves permission to make a mistake. and to say, oh, I thought I could, and I really wanted to, and I can't. And if nothing else comes out of this conversation, let me just offer like permission granted to just raise your hand and say, I overbooked this week. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm dying to come. I'm going to like shed a few tears that I'm missing this, but my people are showing signs of wear and tear. I'm showing signs of wear and tear. It's okay to do that. And I think it's actually really important, because then our yeses are that much more powerful, because they're not that like weary, resentful, kind of ragged yeses. They're like, I am here and I am present and I'm loving every minute of this.
Now, this didn't come to you naturally, as you said earlier. Give us a few background things of how you got to this point.
Yeah. So I struggle with anxiety kind of in my like temperament. That's what I call my weak ankle, physically. And so when I get overwhelmed, I mean, I've, one of the stories that's like the family legends in our house is, I was barefoot and pregnant in an apron, and my husband and I were kind of both starting to hit the ceiling. And I kind of like in anger threw an onion in the sink and like stomped out the door in the middle of winter and was like, that's it. I can't handle this anymore. And I'm like, I remember walking down the street going, I hope he comes after me, because I don't think I can turn around and I don't think I can keep going.
So you didn't sit down. Now, I might have had the tendency to sit down in the middle of the sidewalk and just cry at that point.
I do that too, but I think the fact that there was already the barefoot pregnant apron, I was like, I don't think I can take any more humiliation right now, so I'm just going to pretend I'm where I want to be right now. We're just walking, and I'm happy about it.
So now you have to finish the story. Did he come and get you, or did you go home?
He came and got me. I made it about a house and a half away, and he came outside and he's like, come home. I was like, thank you. So, this is just, I can get, my like lid can blow, and I just get to the point where I can't. And the beautiful thing is God knows that, right? He knows our limitedness. And like, I love, there's a saying in recovery, at least where I was in the rooms primarily, where one of the ladies would say, every year of recovery gives you another second of reaction time. And I just loved the grace of that, of like, listen, friends, we're not looking for like, I used to always and now I never, right? Like, may we celebrate I used to throw onions in the sink and walk out the door barefoot, and now I'm wearing shoes and maybe I'm not in an apron. And like, it's gross. It's gross.
So for me, it would be, I used to throw I threw a pound of ground beef at the husband. I used to throw things at the husband, and now I'm not throwing anything at all.
There we go, right? There we go. And like, we just have to iterative, throw it at him, throw it in the sink, don't throw it, carry it with me. And now I set it down, and then maybe one day, there's just no thought of ground beef is nowhere involved. Nor
all those steps.
Yeah.
So when people come to the summit, they have a couple choices. They can come absolutely free for 7, 8, and 9. See the speakers. We have 10 speakers each day. There's not a set time. They're going to be released. You can watch who you want to watch. You're going to be released at 8 a.m. Eastern on the second day, which is the 8th. But if they want to come, listen to you and then listen to everybody, because I don't expect anybody to sit 29 hours in front of their computer. There's a podcast that goes with this. You get to keep it for the rest of the year. And you are one of the ones who has provided a fabulous bonus to go with the VIP pass. Can you tell us a little bit about the bonus?
Yes. So I am offering a free one-on-one coaching session. So I'm a certified life coach, and I love nothing more than helping people close the gap between where they are and where they feel called to be. So we would have a one-on-one session for an hour, just helping you dig through, okay, what's the main challenge? What's your one win that you're looking to get during this hour? And we'll get it for you.
So that's an amazing offer, folks. And then we have over like $700, $1,000 worth of offers in there. But more than anything, This is a program that I wish I had had 13 years ago when I was really struggling with my family and addiction. And Anna doesn't have addiction in the background, but was in the rooms for another reason. So there are skills that you can learn, things that you can take away. And what I hope for everybody is for you to know that you're not alone, that there is help and hope, and that one person can make a huge change in their family. So Anna, when you stopped letting overwhelm control your life, how did your family change?
Oh, it was such a sweet shift. I think we don't realize how much power our emotions can have, not only over our own experience, but over those around us. Just how much my husband was able to relax and feel loved and enjoyed when he wasn't kind of worrying about my emotional well-being, worrying about, if I say the wrong thing in the wrong tone of voice, then she's off and running. How much more my children were at rest. Our home became a much more peaceful place. And then that compounds, right? Because now, as everybody else seems more settled, it gives me permission to really breathe and go, okay, I don't have to try to hold it all together the way that I thought that I did.
Wonderful. Now, a lot of folks watching will not be people who take care of themselves. What's one really simple thing you do that takes care of you, Anna?
I think we so often think that if I take care of myself, I'm by definition taking something away from someone else. I can't possibly stop. And part of that, I think, is a way that we force ourselves into denying self-care, because sometimes when we move into self-care, we might find emotions there like grief or discomfort or just even disappointment. And so I think it's so helpful to recognize it's not either or, like it can be both and. I can take care of myself, and I actually don't have to like do so in opposition to somebody else. That I can be with myself. And for me, it can be very small. I think one of the things that's been very helpful to me is I call it just getting in my body, I like to put my hand over my heart. And like, I'll even kind of, I don't know all of the modalities around like tapping or EMDR, but there are very powerful tools that professionals can offer in that arena. But even literally just like feeling your own skin, like rubbing your arms, I would give myself a hand massage because I would kind of like clench and go, okay, all right, okay. And I had a nervous habit of like picking the skin around my cuticles. So instead I kind of like give my fingers a little massage and just, okay, we're nurturing, you're okay. Everything's fine, trying to breathe deeply. And that's something you can do anywhere, in the middle of the family dinner as things start to elevate, or while there's a really stressful moment of just standing in line at the store and you're later than you thought you would be, taking that moment to go, okay, I'm safe, breathing, just getting like some sort of contact with yourself that's nurturing and kind can be just that little bit of difference to move you out of that fight and flight anxious state into a more settled, I'm safe in this moment and everything's okay.
Anna, I can't thank you enough today.
Thanks so much, Tanya. I appreciate